We're going to start with these markets. As Stuart's talking about the bounce back that we're seeing today, we've had strong earnings, kind of big picture, right? If you look at 80% plus of the S&P 500 beating earnings per share estimates, and then you have question marks being raised about whether or not we've had peak earnings. That's been in the news here for the last really couple of weeks. Investors do get their first read tomorrow on third quarter GDP. And then tonight we have all those earnings that the guys were just talking about. So on this question of bottoming out, at least in the near term, let's first go to Third Seven Capital Managing Director Michael Block and Walzer Wealth Management President Rebecca Walzer. Welcome to both of you. It's always good to see you, Michael. And Rebecca, let me start with you on where are we? Not physically today, but, where are we in this market movement? Have we reached some sort of a near-term bottom, or are you one of these people that's worried about, a downward trend that lasts for a longer time? Nice bounce back today.
Well, Connell, I do think that we will eventually have some sort of, inflection point, but I don't think that we're there yet.
Okay.
I do believe, obviously, we're rebounding from yesterday's earnings report, Amazon, obviously, and that was incredible. And Microsoft, Amazon later today, but Microsoft yesterday's really great numbers.
I wonder, Michael, whether tonight is a big night. And sometimes we overdo it with these things. And sometimes, people on your side, our side, everybody that says, hey, when Amazon reports, when Google, Alphabet, when they report that's somehow going to be some sort of a big message to where kind of the investment community is and how people see the world. Do you look at tonight as kind of a big night earnings-wise? Or?
It is absolutely a big night, given that tech has been really been getting hit on these down days quite a bit. Earlier in the week, we had Texan, which really did not have good earnings, had bad guidance.
Yep.
They talked about softness going forward. Let's not forget, a lot of Texans' end markets are in the industrial space, disproportionately so within that semiconductor space. Now we have Amazon coming up. Amazon is notorious for having very wide bands to their guidance. And then we have Alphabet, which had great numbers last quarter, if we can remember back that far. Thing is this, tech is being used as an ATM here. People want a day like yesterday, NASDAQ down 4.43%. That tells me a couple of things. Number one, it's not healthy when that happens. I keep using the analogy, if you break your leg, you don't run out even if you're feeling good, you don't run out the next week and try to kick a 70-yard field goal. It takes time for damage to get undone. Same's true for this market. That being said, if you want growth, data's slowing down, it's not coming to a standstill. You have to go to these growth sectors, tech, healthcare. You have to look at names like Microsoft last night, Amazon, Alphabet. This is a big, important night. And in terms of sector leadership, I'm looking for the growth sectors to take the reins again, even though it's going to be choppy.
Let's talk about that, Rebecca, a little bit. And those stocks, as Michael was speaking, we had a bunch of them up on the screen, and even the ones that we're showing now. But in particular, the Amazons and the Alphabets of the world, they're up today ahead of their numbers. Does that make sense to you? Would you look at it, given how you see the macro environment, and say, you know what, I'm going to buy Facebook, I'm going to buy Apple, I'm going to buy Amazon, and especially like an Amazon before it reports. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I mean, I think that, we're Facebook in its own category. I think, obviously, Amazon has got, we had some insight into Amazon, too, right, with Microsoft telling us how much of Azure has basically got market share, which is, even though it's slowed versus quarter over quarter from last year.
That's the cloud
it actually
business,
is
by the way, right?
Exactly. The cloud business. It's actually got a lot more market share versus, Amazon's AWS from last year. So we do see that. So I think that Amazon is going to beat. I think that, we're going to be fine with Alphabet, but I do like Alphabet and Google specifically to take a page from Larry Ellison and his interview with Maria and actually maybe help the United States and not necessarily China.
Well, we're gonna play
that would be great.
Of Ellison in a minute. So, do you think, by the way, as a follow-up then on some of that, Rebecca, that stuff matters to companies in terms of whether people buy and sell their stocks and how they're viewed, essentially?
That's such a great point. And, you've got people that do make investments based on their priorities socially. However, what I will say is that, Google and the Silicon Valley to the left, they do tend to skew left, and people don't seem to care. Right now, investors really don't care. Money is green. But what people do care about is when we do start to have, sort of this potentially, speech being a problem. Half the country doesn't agree necessarily with all the leftist policies, and I think that could eventually affect bottom lines. Absolutely.
I haven't brought up kind of politics, Michael, as a driver of the markets. Larry Kudlow did the other day. I know Neil was skeptical of his comments. I quite frankly was as well. But how do you see the midterm elections kind of influencing things, if at all, or are you much more focused on what we've been talking about already in terms of what drives the market?
Look, I'd love to just focus on fundamentals and earnings and macro data, but that's not how this works, Connell. You and I both know that, so let's focus on the politics. I don't think, for the record, I don't think it's healthy that President Trump is blaming the Fed for everything.
Right.
And in terms of Larry Kudlow's comments yesterday, I think the market has settled into this baseline scenario where the Republicans keep the House, the the Republicans keep the Senate, and the Democrats retake the House, and then we move on. I think
we've been there for. My point is, we've been there for a while. You know?
We've been there for a while. So getting this out of the way and confirming that, even if the Democrats take the House, I don't think everyone's going to freak out and sell stocks. I think that's the baseline. I think there'll be a relief. This overhang, this event will be out of the way. Right. It's no longer an unknown. It becomes a known, and off we go. And I think with the midterms out of the way, the thing I want to point out is the word out of China is after the midterms, China is going to extend the olive branch all the more. They're already trying to do it. Let's see if President Trump takes that back and we get more and we get back to that. That would also be a huge positive. We're hearing nothing positive on that now. Hearing the slightest bit of positivity would help right these markets.
It would be great. I don't know if it'll happen, but it would be great if we saw any progress on the trade front. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Now,